also live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. Also on Facebook and on YouTube at 3FM927. Read out to you and to the rest of the world your comments, views, thoughts and opinions that you share with us as we go on here on Hot Edition. I am Alfred Ocansey. This evening, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition announces planned shutdown of Atuabo Gas Processing Plant from August 16 to 30th for scheduled maintenance. This evening, we explore to what extent this shutdown will disrupt power supply in the country. That if that would happen, we'll get some responses from the Ministry of Energy shortly. Also, Christian Council of Ghana seeks clarity from the Presidency over a new proposal asking religious leaders to share prophecies or spiritual revelations of national importance directly with government. Stay with us, we've got details for you. Also, just coming through fresh on the plate, the new Patriotic Party says it will not contest the Tamale Central by-election following the death of the Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Murtala Mohammed. We've got details for you. A statement that just came through from the new Patriotic Party here on Hot Edition. ASANTEHEMAA thrown in a state of mourning following the passing of ASANTEHEMAA Nana Konadu-Yiadom III. Details of these plus the latest in business and sports over the next 1 hour. Let's settle for a summary of the news now.
The ASANTEHEMAA Otumfuo Setusu II has confirmed the death of ASANTEHEMAA Nanama Konadu-Yiadom III. The ASANTEHEMAA confirmed her demise on Monday, August 11, during an ASANTEHEMAA Council meeting at the Menchia Palace. The Queen Mother, who died on Thursday, August 7, at age 98, spent 8 years on the stool. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has called on Ghanaians to take genuine prophecies seriously, warning against dismissing spiritual warnings and messages from credible men of God. Speaking while commiserating with the family of the deceased, the Speaker stressed that spiritual insights from trusted religious leaders should not be taken lightly. His remarks come in the wake of a new directive from the Presidency's Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations Office requiring religious leaders to submit prophecies of national significance for official review. Also, disaster management organization NADMO in the Adansek Reform District of the Ashanti region have begun compiling a list of farmers in Sikaman who were affected by restrictions imposed on access to the forest area following the recent helicopter crash. Some farmers have expressed concerns over their inability to access their farms due to the restrictions, raising fears of food shortages and severe impacts on their livelihoods. Although Joseph Azuma, Member of Parliament for the area, has assured of interventions, officials of the Adansek Reform District Assembly say they are still verifying the list of names to determine the actual number of farmers directly affected. Finally, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has announced a 2-week shutdown of the Atuabo Gas Processing Plant in the Western region for scheduled maintenance aimed at boosting efficiency and ensuring long-term operational safety. In a statement issued on Monday, August 11, the ministry said the shutdown requested by the Ghana National Gas Company Limited will take place from August 16 to August 30, 2025. During the period, gas supply from the facility will be suspended to allow for comprehensive inspections, repairs and upgrades to critical systems. According to the ministry, the maintenance works are part of the government's commitment to guaranteeing the safe, reliable and efficient operation of the plant, which plays a central role in the country's energy supply chain. Alfred.
Thank you, Christabel. Let's get into some more details on the issues here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesme 107.1 and on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has announced that the Atuabo Gas Processing Plant in the Western region will be shut down from August 16 to August 30 for scheduled maintenance. In a statement, the ministry said the shutdown requested by the Ghana National Gas Company will suspend gas supply while engineers carry out the inspections, repairs and system upgrades. It said the move is meant to boost efficiency, guarantee safety and ensure the long-term reliability of the facility. Now, this will be the second planned maintenance shutdown this year, following a similar exercise in April that addressed technical issues and optimized performance. The ministry said to avoid disruptions, alternative fuel sources will be used to keep electricity generation steady. Let's stay a bit further on this one. And Richmond Roxon speaks for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, is head of communications for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Join us on the telephone. Mr. Roxon, good evening. Thank you for joining us. So for our listeners and viewers on Facebook, the main concern is, will this plant maintenance lead to a disruption in power supply?
Good evening to you, Alfred, and good evening to your cherished listeners. Absolutely no. We don't expect any disruptions in power supply. We expect that even with the maintenance ongoing, electricity supplied to our homes, offices, factories, industries will still remain stable as it's been in the last couple of months. And so on behalf of my minister, Honorable John Shinapo, and the government of Ghana, wish to assure the good people of Ghana that in spite of this maintenance, the lights will still be on.
I see. And what was going to be the alternative in ensuring that indeed the lights will be on as you have assured? Because certainly this gas, Atuabo gas going off means that there's some megawatts that will go off. So what's the alternative?
It's averagely, we are looking at a loss of about 400 megawatts. And the shutdown of Atuabo will mean that every day we're going to have a deficit in gas supply of about 95 million standard cubic feet per day. And what the government has done with the minister, together with the power sector players, is to ensure that alternative measures are put in place. These alternative measures are to ensure that there's liquid fuels to power other plants that run on other fuels. For example, we have AXA running on HFO. We have St. Paul's running on other alternative fuels. We have other power plant that runs on LCU, others run on diesel. And enough provision have been made to ensure that we don't have any challenges when it comes to supply. Alfred, you recall that about 4 weeks ago, which was 13th of July, we undertook a similar exercise with the upgrade of ENI facility. That we lost over 240 million standard cubic feet a day. And even with that, we didn't see the power supply, we didn't see any interruptions in power supply. This is because of the work that has been done by government, led by the minister with the support of the president over the period. And as at January 2025, when this administration took over, the preceding month, which was December, we had shedded load of about 700 megawatts. We haven't seen that since this government has been in place because of the work that has been done. So, yes, alternative measures have been put in place to ensure that we will not have any interruptions in supply of power.
I see, and this is for a period of 2 weeks, you say, but the release says between, based on at least what we got, 16th to 30th. Within this period, based on this assurance that you've given to us, if there are any interruptions in power supply anywhere, what could be the cause, or what would be the cause if there are any interruptions within this period?
If you count the days, we say 2 weeks. To be precise, it's 15 days, because you count 16th and you end on the 30th. We know that the expectations that even the works could be completed before that, but that is the period that we've been given, or the request that was made by Ghana Gas. Within that period, if you have any power interruptions, as we've been announcing for some time now, that we're expecting your power to remain stable. And at any time where you have any issue with your power, the first thing you should do is to call 0302 611 611. That is ECT's helpline. Once you do that, once you log in and report, someone will attend to you. Engineers will be sent to your neighborhood, because we don't have any issues with shedding of power. We don't expect anybody's power to be off. We expect everyone to enjoy stable power supply. And if at any material time, even before, during, or after the maintenance period, kindly reach out to ECG so that someone will be dispatched to your area to ensure that your power is restored.
And I thank you very much for this. Appreciate you. That's Richmond Roxon speaks for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition there. So that's the assurance from the ministry that during this period of the plant maintenance, and which will lead to the shutdown of the Atuabo Gas Processing Plant between the 16th and the 30th of August for the scheduled maintenance, they have assured that there wouldn't be any disruption in power supply. Alternative fuel sources have been made available to keep electricity generation steady. So we'll keep an eye on how things play out within that period. But the Christian Council of Ghana is seeking clarity from the presidency over a new proposal asking religious leaders to share prophecies or spiritual revelations of national importance directly with government. In a statement signed by General Secretary Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayosi, the council said it has reached out to the presidency for a meeting next week. Now, the call comes as the country mourns last week's military helicopter crash victims, which killed 8 of the gallant Ghanaians, including 2 cabinet ministers, and the subsequent controversy over claims that some pastors foretold the military helicopter crash. Now, the Christian Council says it supports national unity and interfaith collaboration, but warns that when religion is misused to stir fear, it can threaten peace and stability. It's urging the public, religious leaders, and the media to remain calm, objective, and united while discussing this matter. Now, meanwhile, the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, which acknowledging public concern about certain prophecies, they believe there should have been prior engagement with stakeholders before the said statement was issued from the presidency. Apostle Emmanuel Ni Okole Tete is the General Secretary of the Ghana Pentecostal Council and Charismatic Churches. They spoke to us earlier today on this particular issue. Let's take a listen to him now.
I think it could have been approached differently because, you see, we have the sector ministry in the Ministry for Chieftaincy, Local Government and Religious Affairs, which we deal with very directly on all religious issues. And so I think there could have been a coordinated consultative process in coming into a firm-up decision involving the Ecumenical Council leaders, so that by the time the letter is coming, the Ecumenical Councils, like the Christian Council, like the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, Catholic bishops and others, are fully aware of the intention and the reason what is driving this new move. So, yes, the letter is out. We are yet to engage with the Office of the Presidential Envoy on interfaith relations and ecumenism to get more clarity on this.
So that's the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Churches Council there. And now, this is a matter that has engaged public reactions as well. A news team hit the streets to solicit public opinion on this matter. And this is what some members of the general public had to say about this directive from the presidency on prophecies that borders on national matters or borders on the leadership of the nation being directed to the presidency.
The president has his own responsibility, so as the pastor. If the prophet see anything, he should pray against it. If God reveals to redeem, why don't the prophets pray against it before making it public? The prophets shouldn't wait for the deed to happen before they talk about it. I agree with the directive, but it should have conditions.
And I was saying it's bad because I feel it's violating. You just stand in your church and then you say, oh, this person is going to die if he or she don't do this. It maybe might affect the person's mental health and he or she going out publicly because his name is out there that he's going to die.
Those also members of the general public on this matter. Let's go on to the telephone now. And thankfully, we have the General Secretary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Father Clement J, who's joining us right now. Father Clement J, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
First of all, I want to find out the position of the Catholic Bishops' Conference on this directive from the Presidency, specifically asking that prophecies that borders on the leadership of the nation, that they of national importance should be directly, as it were, sent to the Presidency.
So far as I know, the Bishops' Conference hasn't taken any decision on it. But the letter was received yesterday. They called me, and it's on a soft copy. And this morning, I forwarded it to them, and I'm here to hear their decision on it. But up to now, they haven't given out any decisions, because the bishops are more than 20. And the conference, one person cannot speak for the conference, except the president, and I'm here to hear from him. And they have to meet or maybe consult themselves before they can come out with any decision on that letter.
Rightly so. But then again, from your own perspective, personal view, how should the presidency navigate this very slippery path, some have described it, of ensuring some harmony in the prophecies bordering on the leadership of the nation, or prophecies that are deemed of national importance, and then also avoiding the subtle legitimization of such prophecies that some have described as doom prophecies?
In respect of that, in respect to that letter, I think it was done out of rush and fear. You see, you have an adage, and a adage that goes that you see, they are facing serious problems. Actually, fear has gripped the NDC as a party, the government especially, and the people of Ghana. And to just come up all of a sudden with this letter, I think it was in a rush. And then it's also out of fear, because they know that the Catholic Bishops' Conference, they normally write to them to engage them. You see, you should have engaged the bishops and any other leadership of the churches, other Christians and so on. But the letter is too general, you see, and it will not be taken that with seriousness, as in fact they had wanted. So I think the medium of communication somehow is not all that good. Doesn't make them seem serious. If you want the Catholic Church to react to something with you, approach them, write to them. That's what we do. They have been in office for about 7 months. The Catholic Bishops' Conference has met them twice, present on 2 occasions. And they have spoken, they have discussed certain matters that confront the nation as a whole and the government. We do that. But to write general letter, prophecy. In fact, what is prophecy? Is that prophecy in accordance with the others' notion of prophecy in respect of the Bible? The prophecy is not just for telling something that's going to happen, only that prophecy. No. God speaks through his people, through his anointed ones, through anybody at all. And the Catholic Church is a way, a medium of expressing it. We don't just go and stand somewhere. For example, myself, I haven't heard anybody saying a prophecy or whatever, or saying that I had the vision, or I saw in a dream that Dr. Manebo and other 7 people are going to die in a helicopter crash. I haven't heard that. And the rumors are too much. So they should calm down. They should calm down.
I see. Now, but then again, there's also that bit about then how how then do we address this prophecy, some of which you just referenced, that if indeed some of these prophecies were foretold before the incidents, how should that also be addressed?
You see, prophecy. A prophet is a spokesperson of God. Prophetu, pro, phaleo, speak for. From two Greek words, prophecy, prophet. So a prophet speaks for and on behalf of God to his people. If it's about a king, go and speak to the king. If it's about a servant, go and speak to a servant. Don't stand somewhere and be talking. If it's the people, then speak to the people as a whole. That's how prophecy is. We don't just stand somewhere and start talking. You stand in a chapel and start talking anyhow. You see, and that is for us. That's why we supported I supported what the former IGP did. So you see, prophets to put fear in people. There's a way out. We do it. If it's about Kwesi, go to Kwesi, because God wants you to direct him in the way he should live his life. Otherwise, something may happen. God is not interested in the death of people, in the misery of people. No. He's interested in reformation of the people. Repentance. That's what God is interested in. God is not interested in the death of the 8 people that he read them to you in your own corner somewhere and you started talking anyhow, not even directly. Once that's the prophecy. It's from the Bible itself. But these days, the prophets, you know what they think they are? They have turned themselves into seers, into mediums, as what Saul consulted one, that lady of Endor, in 1 Samuel chapter 28. He's not the right person. That's what some of them have turned themselves into. We don't know whether it's coming from God or it's coming from the evil one. That is not my concern. But the point is that as a Christian, as a prophet, because when you are baptized, the Catholic Church says when you are baptized, you are a prophet, you are a king, you are a priest. And God can speak through you. And mainly to approach the person affected so the person may change his way of life, way of thinking. And not just get to yourself and then stand somewhere and say something which is so general that some may not even get it. Some may not even get the actual meaning of what you intend to say. And in fact, we are in Ghana here. We are in Ghana here during the elections and so on. A lot of things came up. People were talking here negative, people were talking here positive, and so on and so forth. And we didn't know whether it's a prophecy. Sometimes they, I may say, intentional or unintentional, it comes to pass. And somehow, saying something is going to happen, people are going to suffer, things are going to... you said nothing. It's so general.
Well, but the concern is that if it borders on potential national security implications, then it has to be handled. So how would you recommend that it be done?
Governance, rules of people taking decisions. We have departments, we have ministries, we have this, we have that, agencies. You know where to go. If it's at the presidency, you know where to go. If it's at the minister, about security, you know where to go. You have Minister of Defense, and you have the one in terms of Minister of Interior, they are all there. The police service, you know the head, they are all there. So when we want to meet Parliament, we know where to go. If we want to meet the presidency, we know where to go. If we want to meet a minister, we know where to go.
Well, Reverend Father Clement J, thank you so much for joining us on this. And I know that this is a matter that as well, these concerns and feedback, the presidency, we understand, is also monitoring all of that. There's a call for some stakeholder engagement on this. We're knocking on the doors of the presidency. When we get some response, we'll let you know. But thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, Mandy.
Is the General Secretary of the Catholic Bishops Conference, Reverend Father Clement J. There. Now, there is one matter as well that has come up related to what happened last week, the tragic incident that led to the death of these 8 heroes, Ghanaians, patriots, as they've been all called over the period. And that has to do with the decision that the new Patriotic Party has taken about the Tamale Central seat, because the member of parliament for that Tamale Central seat, that's the constituency, was part of 8 that we lost in that tragic incident. Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and the new Patriotic Party has taken a decision. What are they saying?
Well, they have released a statement, and it says the new Patriotic Party, NPP, has resolved that it would not take part in the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election to elect a replacement for the late Alhaji Honorable Dr. Murtala Mohammed, who was the MP for the constituency, who was among the 8 who lost their lives in service of the Republic in the helicopter crash that occurred on Wednesday, August 6, 2025. They say that the decision was taken by the party at a National Steering Committee meeting held on Monday, August 11, 2025 at the party headquarters pursuant to Article 10, Section 10(1) of the party constitution. In arriving at the decision, the party considered many factors, including circumstances under which the Tamale Central seat has become vacant and the possibility of a further polarization of the country at this critical time. The NPP says is of the belief that it would be inhumane and unconscionable to subject the nation to a competitive process in search of a replacement for the departed MP. The party believes that the tension and acrimony often associated with the conduct of by-elections in the country should be avoided. It is the considered view of the party that the greatest tributes that the NPP and the rest of the nation can pay in honor of the departed is not only to win the fight against Galamsey, but also to ensure a smooth and peaceful replacement for the good people of Tamale Central. It says, consequently, the NPP hereby announces that when the Electoral Commission of Ghana opens nominations for the Tamale Central by-election in line with Article 112, Section 5 of Ghana's Constitution, the party will, in accord with the national interest, not take part in the contest. And this was signed by their General Secretary, Justin Kodia Frimpong.
Let's stay a bit further on this. And Dr. Jonathan ASANTEHEMAA is a political analyst, a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. He's joining us on the telephone. Dr. ASANTEHEMAA, the NPP is quite clear that the reason why they took this decision, taking into consideration the circumstances that led to the death of the MP, and then the fact that they don't want to have this lead to the polarization of the nation at this critical time. A good stroke, you will say?
All right, let me say good evening to your good self and to your listeners. I believe it is a good gesture on the part of the NPP. But of course, as my article points out, communication, verbal communication is about 10%, 90% is non-verbal. So the point is that, behind every statement, there are some thin lines, some crossed, others dotted, that are not in the public domain. Obviously, as much as it is a good gesture, we all know that if the NPP stood a chance of winning that particular seat, it doesn't matter the consequences, it doesn't matter how the person died. They will still have contested. Obviously, they have, done introspective analysis of the situation, and they know very well that most likely that seat has never been won, so they're likely to lose. So why would they want, opposition go and waste resources? They would rather want to concentrate all their resources at Equatia. And that, for me, is politically strategic.
Now, is it a good bait? You say it's a politically strategic move, but is it a good bait that would then influence a possible change of mind for the NDC in the Akwatia constituency by-election?
Well, that is a possibility, but, in politics, you need to weigh the options. The point is that the NDC stands a better chance, at taking over, especially Akwatia, because looking at their performance in government, and then obviously looking at the differences in terms of the vote between Dr. Bawumia and that of Mr. Mahama, And then the very person who was more involved in orchestrating that particular huge jump for the party in government now is the one contesting on the ticket of Akwetia. I think that there is no need for that comparison to be done. The NPP has taken a political decision, and that for me is quite strategic. And it is a huge blow that the NDC will have to deal with, because if they're not careful, that moral responsibility and moral irresponsibility question could be asked of them. The point is that others will say, what at all do you want? You have all these numbers. These people are saying that, well, out of respect, so we don't want to take part. It's the same thing. What are the issues? Death. Death is the common denominator between Akwetia and that of Tamale Central also. So if that is the case, it is a moral question that the NDC has been asked of. So now they will have to, put their act together and see and ensure that they do not appear as being greedy. That is something that's a bet that the NPP has put out there, knowing very well that they cannot win that particular seat. So they think that they will want to put the NDC on the carpet so that everybody will think that they are being greedy because you have all these numbers in Parliament. But I think that politics is beyond morality as it stands now. It is beyond morality. It is more about, bringing development to the people. And whoever is in that position or whoever has that disposition is the very person or the very party that the people will want to vote for. So the people of Akwetia may have a different disposition. That of Tamale Central will also have a different disposition altogether. So at the end of the day, we are just comparing apples and oranges just because we have two personalities that are no more. The common denominator, as I said, is death. But I think that at the end of the day, the NBC will want to contest in all, because I have listed the reasons why you may want to take over some of these seats, because these seats fling, and most often than not, especially Akwetia, has been flinging on the part of the NPP. So it's like a midterm, test for the NDC. They will want to see whether their policies, have sunk well with the people, and whether this dollar CD, appreciation, you are talking of a reduction in the policy rate, and all these things are going down well with the people. So you want to test your popularity, especially when you find yourself in government. So that morality and the sympathy and the bait and a kind of blackmail, emotional blackmail on the part of the NPP may not in any way shake the NDC. They will want to see, especially, how the majority of the people are faring in their various constituencies in terms of the receipt of the policies that they have put across.
Well, but then again, the fundamental issue that you raise here is that is the common denominator of the demise. But then again, who stands the chance of winning in each of the instances? The NDC, based on their track record in the Akwetia, you say it is a fight they would want to put up. But for the NPP in Tamale Central, you think that based on the electoral history of that particular constituency, they wouldn't really fancy the decision of contesting because they know that they will not make a good showing in the by-election. That's where the issue is. And so it will be easy for them to make a decision not to contest Tamale Central as against the NDC making a decision to not contest Akwetia.
Certainly. I mean, you've just hit the nail right on the head. I think that in terms of Akwetia, even if the NDC does not win, which for me, I haven't read Global Info Analytics data that they brought, I have a little doubt. I have said that most likely the NPP could win just because of sympathy vote. But the sympathy vote therein, within the space of the Global Info Analytics, is very infinitesimal. But they are looking at developmental projects. They are looking at the economy. So I said that if you are looking at developmental projects, then it means that the previous government, if developmental projects are inexistent in Akwetia, then the previous government will bear the brunt of it. In terms of the economy, if they are seeing reduction in prices, if they are seeing the cedi appreciating against the dollar, if they are seeing their fuel prices coming down, if it is the economy, which formed about 40-something%, then definitely the NDC are on a higher threshold to win that particular seat. Now, it comes down to personality or personalities. So now you have a businessman who is a mining magnate contesting for the ticket of the NPP. Now you have a lawyer who has been, in the trenches with the NDC along the line in terms of grassroots and other things, creating an atmosphere in which the difference between Mr. Mohammed, His Excellency, the President, and that of the former President became something that was insignificant. Then it means that it is the NDC's call to lose that particular seat for now. It may have been the seat that the MPP might have won on a regular basis. I think NDC might have won about twice with two different individuals. And so if that is the case, it is for the NDC to lose that particular seat based upon the data that Global Analysis brought. But they are saying that the one on the ticket of the MPP, is definitely going to win that particular seat. I have two things. If you look at what's it called? There was a by-election before the 2024 election. Is it Akwemu or I've forgotten the name, one of the MPP candidates. I said that the NDC, that was before the 2024 elections and before the Chikwesin's by-election. I said that what the NDC wanted to do was to see how their vote will show up in terms of the by-election. And if that happens, that will mean that the Asante region will be a Waterloo for the MPP. And that the real by-election is Chikwesin's constituency. That's exactly what happened. And so they had over 1,000 votes. So even if the NDC does not stand a chance of winning, because this is parliamentary and it's not presidential, and obviously there may be some kind of sympathy vote, if only the person that the MPP is bringing up is not a superimposition, but rather the real consensus that they are talking about, if that is the case, then it means that the MPP is likely to retain that seat based upon sympathy, and then the person having the wherewithal in terms of resources to be able to match whatever the NDC candidate or the government will bring in terms of that particular constituency. But if you are combining developmental projects, and the people of Akotia feel that they don't have those developmental projects, but it was the number one on their list in terms of the kinds of things that they will use, to vote for who or to vote against, if that is the case, then it means that certainly the MPP, will not be in a good condition to win that particular seat. Therefore, it is politically strategic and to climb a moral high ground to say that you are not going to contest Tamale Central as a way of making the NDC appear greedy and letting the people go against the NDC.
Very important point that you raised there, Dr. Jonathan Asante. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alfred. You're welcome.
As always, he's a political analyst, senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, joining us here on Hot Edition. And there's something that's come up related to the new Patriotic Party as well. A founding member is speaking. What has he been saying?
He's a statesman and elder of the opposition party. He is Kwame Pinim. He's warning that the NPP stands being irrelevant soon if the current leadership fails to listen to the elders and change course. The comment follows a weekend social media banter between the spokesperson of leading presidential aspirants, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and Kennedy Ejapong, on who qualifies most to lead the NPP into the 2028 polls. Mr. Pinim spoke in an exclusive interview with Presidency.
I don't agree with it. We are trying to restructure the party. We are trying to get the young people who are running the party to halt, look, and listen, so I will get the direction right. I know a lot of founding members of the party who are unhappy with the direction and state of the party. and who are anxious and contacting the current leadership of the party, both in Parliament, the National Secretariat, and the Council of Elders, to try to hold a stakeholder engagement to look at the direction and state of the party. They are worried about the direction the young people are taking the party. And I'm hoping that we'll soon get our act together to rebuild, to restructure, and build a united front to move forward.
Are the young people listening?
I think that once 50% of the solution is identifying there's a problem and posing a question. They have to listen because it's their future. As I said, it's not my future. The young people in the NPP now, it's their future. If we do not listen and restructure our party, the party NPP will become as irrelevant to the politics of Ghana as the CPP has become.
Is that what you see with the current happenings?
Yes, if we don't restructure, regroup, and unite ourselves, we'll become as irrelevant as the CPP has become in our politics.
And that's an elder of the new Patriotic Party, celebrated economist Kwame PNM there. Now, let's go straight to the Ashanti region, because today is the last day that the Ashanti Regional Security Council gave to the people of Sikaman Brofuedro to return any debris or items they picked from the crash site of this tragic incident that happened that led to the death of these 8 gallant Ghanaians last week, Wednesday. Ibrahim Abubakar has been on this since the incident happened. He's joining us on the telephone right now. Ibrahim, how's the response been by the residents to return the items that they may have picked out of ignorance from the crash site?
Well, it's been very impressive because since Friday, most of them have been returning whatever they've picked from the crash site. Even as at this morning, the assembly member told me that he has received a couple of the items from the residents and handed them over to the appropriate quarters. So there has not been any form of resistance. Like I rightly mentioned the last time, the assembly member, together with the unit committee, have also intensified their effort doing random inspection in various homes to make sure that nothing is left behind. And in fact, the authorities are quite happy with the response or the compliance level. But for now, we do not know whether someone may be keeping some of the items or not. But as we speak, almost all the residents are saying they have retrieved or they have returned whatever they picked at the scene. Like I said, because this is not a case where you see the helicopter that you may be able to identify whether this part is missing or not. You may not be able to also say they've returned everything or they are keeping some of the things with them. But the military, as I speak to you, is still at base, still collecting the debris. Hopefully, maybe by the close of the week, they will be done before they will allow people to go back to their farming activities.
See, any indication of what happens after today, after this ultimatum period ends?
Well, we do not know, but the information I gathered is that for now they are pleading with them, but then if you miss the deadline and there is information that you are keeping some of the items, then that is where the force may be applied to be able to retrieve all these things. But like I said, they are now complying. But from tomorrow, we will know whether some of them are still keeping some of the things they've picked from the site, or they've all returned the items to the appropriate quarters. And today, too, there has been some tents at the district assembly also for people to come for free psychological services, those who have been to the crash site and have witnessed whatever happened, and for that matter, are in the form of one trauma or the other, they can come for free of service. Even in Kumasi, the Regional Security Council, or Regional Coordinating Council, has collaborated with the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital to offer these services free of charge.
And I do thank you so much, Ibrahim, for this update from the Sikaman Brofedro area in the Ashanti region. Let's stay in the Ashanti region because there's quite some sad news that has hit ASANTEHEMAA, and this is one that has been unfolding over the last 3 hours that we broke the story on TV3 and on 3FM 92.7.
The ASANTEHEMAA Otumfuo Setutu II has confirmed the death of ASANTEHEMAA Nanama Konedu Yadom III. The ASANTEHEMAA confirmed her demise on Monday, August 11, during an ASANTEHEMAA council meeting at the Menchia Palace. The Queen Mother, who died on Thursday, August 7, spent 8 years on the stool. ASANTEHEMAA was named Nanama Konedu at birth and also known by all as Nana Pening or Na Pening. She later became Nana Konedu Yadom III after her installment as the 14th ASANTEHEMAA on February 6, 2016. She was born on 1927 as Benyade Shrine at Medan, a small town located at Kwadaso, Kumasi, in the days of the restoration of the Asante Confederacy. She was born to Nanefia Kobisewa Ampem II, ASANTEHEMAA, who reigned from 1977 to 2016. Her father was known as Opening Kofi Fofi, known popularly as Kofi, a carpenter by profession near Itimantim in Kumasi. At a very tender age, just when she was a little over a year old and being breastfed, Nana Konedu Yadom III, ASANTEHEMAA, was separated from a biological mother.
Let's say a bit further on this, and William Evans Sinkum, he is our Northern Bureau Chief. He's been at the Menchia Palace for a while now. He broke the story for us here on TV3 and on 3FM 92.7. Is connecting with us right now. William, this certainly must be a dark cloud of sadness and sorrow over ASANTEHEMAA now, but tell us what the reaction has been after this announcement.
Very sorrowful, Alfred. Yes, even though she had aged, but it still came to many in the Ashanti region as a shock, because this is a woman or a queen who has lived and lived well on the throne. She became a chief advisor to the ASANTEHEMAA, because it's one of those traditional functions that we should perform, aside the fact that she's supposed to nominate the ASANTEHEMAA for the traditional council to accept, and then, of course, the other customary rights continues. She's also the chief advisor to the ASANTEHEMAA. For ASANTEHEMAA, it's like a thunderbolt, because he's lost the mother, that was in 2016, and the only surviving sister, who happens to be the queen mother, has also passed on. So it's more like a bitter pill for him. From his facial expression, the demeanor, so to speak, and the fact that even delivering or passing that particular information to the ASANTEHEMAA Council, you could deduce from the tone or from his tone that indeed the king, is down. So that is the situation now in the Ashanti region, for that matter, from the Menchia Palace.
So what happens after this announcement about Otumfuo Setutu II?
Well, so next week, 21st August, exactly Thursday, is going to be the 1 week celebration of the passing of the Queen. That is when all the other details will also be provided. if there's going to be ban, of course, which is likely, especially ban on funeral until the TA is done. The TA is the burial right until that one is done, even before the final funeral right. So Thursday, we're going to have a detailed event lineup as far as this particular development is concerned.
And I know you've been speaking to some historians and also persons who know about the tradition. What are some of the traditional practice or rites that would have to proceed after this announcement today, between today and next week?
Well, so, I mean, we've exhausted one half of the rights, which has to do with the information flow. Remember, she died on Thursday, but it was public. I mean, the public got the information today. That is one half of the information flow. Certain rituals have to be performed and all of that. That is situated only in the municipality, and that one has been done. Now, what is left for is the 1 week celebration. Of course, all the direct family members have been aligned. Rituals which have to be performed in the Queen's Palace has also started. The ASANTEHEMAA, right after announcing publicly the passing of the Queen, left to her palace to commiserate with family members, of course, perform some brief rituals. So those ones have been done. What is left is for the 1 week celebration to happen, God willing. Then we're going to hear if there's going to be more rituals and what has to be done at what time. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be any ban. That one will also be known to the public.
William, I appreciate you for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
William Evans Sinkum is our Northern Bureau Chief.
It's still Hot Edition here. We'll be back with the latest in the world of business and sports. We have Bismarck Awusa standing by with business. Please stay.
You're good to go. Big dreams, little time. There's a boat for you to ride every single time. While the errands will link up for more, hop in a boat and get out and explore. There's a boat for you to ride. Make room for more. Use code KEEPMOVING50 for 50% off your first 3 rides. Download the boat app now. Make room for more.
Everyone, prices continue to drop at Electroland Ghana Limited. See the picky promotion on Samsung, TCL,
3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Hausa. Coming up tonight, Ministry of Energy assures power supply stability through alternative fuel measures as Atuabo Gas Plant is scheduled to undergo 2-week maintenance shutdown from August 16. This story and others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has given the green light for the Ghana National Gas Company to shut down the Atuabo Gas Processing Plant for scheduled maintenance from August 16 to 30, 2025. Authorities say the 2-week exercise will involve critical inspections, repairs and upgrades aimed at boosting the facility's efficiency and reliability, while measures are in place to prevent power supply disruptions. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details.
Energy and Green Transition has approved the scheduled shutdown of the Atuabo Gas Processing Plant by the Ghana National Gas Company from Saturday, August 16 to Saturday, August 30, 2025. According to the ministry, the 2-week exercise is part of government's broader commitment to safe and sustainable management of the country's key energy infrastructure. It will allow for critical inspections, repairs, and upgrades to improve the plant efficiency, reliability, and operational lifespan. The Atuabo facility processes gas from Ghana's offshore oil fields for power generation and industrial use, making it a vital link in the country's energy supply chain. Any extended disruption could affect electricity production, but officials say contingency plans are in place. The ministry says it is working closely with power producers and other stakeholders to deploy alternative fuel sources, such as light crude oil during the maintenance period. These arrangements are expected to keep the national grid stable and prevent load shedding. Authorities have assured the public that electricity supply will remain uninterrupted and pledged to provide regular updates on the maintenance works until the plant resumes full operations at the end of August.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on the Ministry of Energy assuring power supply stability through alternative fuel measures as Atuabo Gas Plant is scheduled to undergo 2-week maintenance shutdown from August 16. Before we go, the insurance industry's equity base and solvency position expanded in 2024. According to the 2024 Financial Stability Review, equity grew by 31% in 2024 to 6.26 billion cedis from 5.04 billion cedis in 2023. This growth strengthened the industry's capital resilience, enhancing its ability to absorb shocks. It also aligns with the industry's strong solvency position, with average capital adequacy ratios for 2024 exceeding the 150% regulatory benchmark. And that brings us to the end of the business news on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Hausa. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Real Prophecies is here for sports. Please stay.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on Sunrise, on the Hot Edition, with Vio. We'll just quickly go through the sports segment here, and we'll be talking about the Ghana Premier League, considering that the CAF Confederations draw has already taken place, and the CAF Champions League. We'll just run through that as GPL title holders BBNU Gold Stars will kick off their maiden campaign against Algeria's side GS Kabylie, whilst MTN FA Cup winners Asante Kotoko will mark their return to the competition since 2022 with a fierce battle against Nigeria's Kwara United. My colleague Murtala Yakubu provides an update on what the chances of the Ghana Premier League clubs are ahead of the CAF club competitions.
Their fate for Asante Kotoko, they are coming up against Kwara United. It's not one of the strongest sides on the African continent. In the Nigerian Premier League, they finished somewhere around 12th last season. So Kotoko, with their quality, I am tipping them to qualify ahead of Kwara United, and especially if Kotoko can be able to play at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, then they should be able to get a first leg victory, go to Nigeria and see that game out, even though it's not going to be easy for them. For Baby Any Gold Stars, they face a more tougher opponent in JS Kabylie, who are very experienced as far as the, CAF interclub competition is concerned. JS Kabylie, an Algerian side that has played in this competition many times. Baby Any Gold Stars, this is their first time playing on the African stage. They don't have that experience. The team that won the league is completely changed. A lot of the guys are not there anymore. Young players have come in, and these young players are trying to burst onto the scene. They have Frimpong Manso, an experienced manager. For them to hold a chance of qualifying to the next stage, they need to win their first leg game at home against JS Kabylie before they travel to Algeria, because in Algeria they are going to face a very hostile atmosphere.
So that was my colleague Murtala Yakubu. Before we go, news just in is the Ghana teenage striker Jerry Afriyie has passed his medical ahead of a proposed season-long move to newly promoted Belgian Pro League side La Louvière from Saudi Arabian side Al Qadsiya. The 18-year-old, regarded as one of Ghana's brightest emerging talents in the past few years, joins the Belgian top-flight newcomers in search of regular first-team football after an impressive 2024-2025 campaign that saw him on loan with third Spanish tier side CD Lugo. And that's how we wrap up the sports segment here. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and also Hot Edition officially comes to an end for today, Monday. We'll be back again same time Tuesday to bring you the latest stories here on 3FM 92.7.